GM's board decided that CEO Fritz Henderson was not moving fast enough to turn the car maker around. We partner now with the FT to bring you more on the story in this Lex on Bloomberg. You get a sneak peek at the Financial Times' flagship column a day early. Joe Johnson is the head of the Lex column. He joins us now from London. So, Joe, this is a really bold move by GM's board. Do you think other boards are going to start being as aggressive?
Yes, I think what we're going to see is that as market conditions normalize as we come out of the financial crisis, I think we will see boards in Western Europe and the United States start to take a close look at the chief executives that they've been holding on to tightly during the dark days of the crisis and say, well, you were a good war leader, but are you the right person to take us into peacetime? And I think that's one of the questions which boards are going to be asking. So,
Joe, I mean, Fritz Henderson had 8 months. Some would say that's not so generous.
No, I think what's happened over the last year or two is that chief executive turnover rates, that means the frequency with which chief executives are replaced, have been falling. Now, this is unusual. The pattern over the last decade has been for chief executive turnover rates to increase. They've been increasing because corporate governance reforms have made shareholders more active and have attempted to make chief executives more accountable to them and to their representatives on the board. Now, during the recession, we saw companies clinging on to their chief executives for dear life. And in Western Europe and the US, we saw turnover rates falling. Now, as we come out of the crisis, those turnover rates are going to rise again. Should we be concerned? I don't think so at all. I think the argument that CEO longevity can be very closely correlated with company outperformance, I think it's largely spurious. And I think shareholders should focus on making sure that their board representatives are being active and engaged as much as they possibly can be. If that means making a snap decision after 100 days, then I'm not in favor of it. But I think 8 months is plenty of time for an engaged board to make a decision. It's not even a fiscal year, but 8 months. I think that's a decent period of time for a board to get a gut feel and to get a good sense of what a chief executive has been doing.
What about the idea, Joe, that it's going to be harder to recruit top talent? I mean, it is important to have somebody qualified at the top of your company. What if the person says, who cares if I'm out after the next 8 months? I don't need this kind of hassle.
I don't think there's any shortage of top talent going for chief executive roles at prestigious companies, or indeed across the board. I don't see the shortage of talent as being an issue. I think the rewards on offer, if you're good and if you deserve it, are such that the best people will always go for the good jobs.
Joe Johnson, thanks so much. Joining us there from London from the FT.